This is economy now.
This is Jesus' economy. It's very, very important. Jesus' economy, very, 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 very important. Because if you don't do it like that, my brother, the way the thing is going.
Well, somebody has an answer for you. I mean, you're talking about President Akufo-Addo touting the finance minister's work over the years. And somebody sent a message, said, "Good morning, Winston and colleagues. Please tell the president that the economy grew then because of the IMF program and nothing that his finance minister did. What he did is what is before us now." That is from Nana Spring Text, reacting to the president saying, yeah, my finance minister is doing a good job. Remember, before the pandemic, the economy was doing very well.
Well, just listen to the president again. For purposes of emphasis, listen to President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo.
Right until 2019. But this man was able to organize the management of our economy in such a way that economy's growth was spectacular. So somebody who has been able to do that, why would I say that? How do I do that?
Yeah, the part that mean to mean Danimechi, man. Well, this is a country we're talking about.
People who are angry and frustrated, I don't know if this kind of message works or this kind of communication works at this point.
I would share with you, what the UK Prime Minister has been doing. She's been apologizing and has been telling everybody that she's acted, by firing her finance minister.
Exactly.
When her plans backfired. She didn't say the finance minister's plans, her plans.
Her plans.
When her plans and his plans backfired, she fired him.
And during these times, you're not hearing any concrete plans from the government to tackle the situation. The only thing we're hearing is that we're going for an IMF deal, which is supposed to be the answer to all our problems. But that is the 17th program that we've had over the years. And so we are not looking forward to find our solutions to all the problems that we are facing at this point. And you're not hearing the government say, this is what we've discovered is a problem with our economy, and this is how we want to solve it. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. But, let's look at another issue that we'll be talking about this morning here on the Super Morning Show. And our focus is on the pregnant teenager who has to forfeit school as a result.
Because of the pregnancy, the parents push them into marriage. Some of them go to cohabit with the men. And unfortunately, this wasn't their case.
The Ghana Statistical Service shared with us recently that 80,000 girls between 12 and 17 actually live with men. Some are married, some are cohabiting with men.
I remember that.
80,000 girls. 80,000 girls are cohabiting with men. Think about it. And look, even though there's a scheme that says once you get pregnant, you could go back to school, there's stigma. How are we helping these young girls to overcome this? Some of them have been defiled.
Yeah.
You see, 14-year-olds who are pregnant. Clear case of defilement.
And it's as if when you become pregnant, then you become the devil or something.
Exactly.
I don't know.
You see, nobody was born a criminal. Society makes one a criminal. As a society, how have we socialized our young ones to grow? And how have we socialized them to stay away from these? That's very important. Very, very important. So we'll get into this conversation right here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. As always, you can be part of the conversation. Join us on Twitter. Use the hashtag JoySMS and on WhatsApp 0551111997. Now time for the Joy Business Report with Acquah and the team.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Report. My name is Acquah. Thanks for being with us this morning. Coming up, Institute for Energy Security warns of widespread shortage of petroleum products across the country in no time. Also coming up, German ambassador advises government to brace itself to accept any program from the International Monetary Fund to revive the economy, saying the fund program will not be politically sexy. Also, economist rules out possibility of signing an IMF deal before 2023 budget presentation in November, as he advises government to rather use the budget to send positive signals to investors. Details coming up. My name is Acquah. Thanks for being with us this morning. The Institute of Energy Security is warning of widespread shortage of petroleum products across the country in no time. It says the rapid fall of the cedi, which is causing a shortage of dollars, and the erosion of some working capital of bulk oil distributors would account for this shortage. Nana Mwesi is chief executive.
There is something to be much worried about. It is quite there if it should happen, and that is the likelihood of shortage of the commodity on the markets on the back of reported shortage of dollars for the bulk distribution companies, the importers, and also the erosion of working capital of some of these importers by reason of rising international price and cedi's value decline. We first raised this concern in March this year, and in the following month, there were reports of pockets of shortages of fuel across the country. This time around, any incident of fuel shortage may be widespread if we fail to plan against it. Which is more serious, high fuel prices or shortage of the commodity?
You heard Nana Mwesi the seventh there. He is executive director of the Institute for Energy Security. Now, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has disclosed that it cannot do anything at the moment to stabilize prices of petroleum products at the pumps. According to the authority, per its mandate, it will, however, ensure consumers are not shortchanged in their quest to purchase fuel. This is coming at a time prices of petrol and diesel have shot up significantly by about 16% and 12% respectively. Let's hear him speak on PM Express. That is the head of communications at the NPA, Abdul Kudus.
We can't do anything. Looking strictly to the act that has established the National Petroleum Authority, the Act 205, and then the subsequent amendment to the Act in 2015, we simply are, if you want for a better description, a police downstream industry, particularly when it comes to price. We're not supposed to determine what the price is supposed to be. We virtually are leaving it to the market, but guide and police to ensure that the consumer is not shortchanged and that there is fair pricing, as it were, for the consumers to be able to buy. So strictly speaking, if there is anything that we can do in the stabilization or determination of prices at the pump, I would flatly say no, we don't have.
Mohammed Abdul Kudus is head of communications at the NPA. Let's check the commodity market for you this morning. Crude oil selling at $92.27 a barrel. Gold went up by $10 to open trading at $1,659 an ounce. Cocoa is trading at $2,340 a ton after losing $37 from yesterday's trading. Turning to other news, the German ambassador to Ghana, Daniel Cole, has advised government to brace itself to accept any program from the International Monetary Fund to revive the economy. According to him, a program from the fund will not be politically sexy. Though he agrees that the economic challenges facing the country was partly driven by external factors, he says government must implement the necessary measures for the program to turn the ailing economy around. He was speaking at a recent program organized by the Ghanaian German Economic Association.
Now we have the unique situation that the government of Ghana, against the initial will, decided to opt in favor of dialogue, and the opposition was pushing for dialogue. So we have a quite unique situation that opposition and government at the same time agree that there is no alternative to the IMF. Nobody might like it, but that's the only way Ghana can buy some time and try to weather the crisis. The cure that the IMF will come up with is probably not very politically very sexy for neither for the government or the opposition. I'm not sure whether Ghana will find the political will to really take the necessary steps.
German ambassador to Ghana, Daniel Cole there. Now, economist Professor Lord Mensah is advising government to be measured in its expectations of signing a deal with the International Monetary Fund before the 2023 budget presentation. According to him, the IMF would rather look at the 2023 budget, which will be presented in November, to finalize a program with Ghana. Professor Mensah urged government to rather focus on using the budget to rebuild investor confidence, on toning down on borrowing while sending a signal of debt restructuring to the IMF.
No, that's not possible. That's not possible because we are now going to read budget, which is somewhere November, And the budget should really position the country for an IMF program in terms of our budget deficit, in terms of the way we want to spend, in terms of the financing of the budget deficit from the central bank government, whether it will be reduced or not. The government should exhibit that readiness, to accept the program. So it's not going to be until maybe the first half of next year.
Economist Professor Lord Mensah there. Well, the energy sector debts and related issues have taken center stage in current program negotiations with the International Monetary Fund. This is what Joy Business has picked up from persons close to the negotiations. George Affe has more from Washington, D.C.
Sources say this is part of a broader discussion with the IMF on the country's debt stock in trying to get a better picture about the situation. The discussions are also looking at whether some of these debts should be put on the books of government rather than those state institutions that actually contracted those loans. The issue about how some of the independent power producers agreements were contracted and its impact on government finances is also being reviewed. Sources say there are concerns about whether the right price are being paid for power consumed by Sources say there are concerns about whether the right price is being paid for the power produced and distributed by these power companies to consumers in Ghana. The IMF and the World Bank meetings has ended, and it was the expectation that the government team should be returning to Accra. However, we are learning that due to new developments that are coming up in the energy sector debts, they are going to stay in Washington, D.C. a while longer. For some, the IMF World Bank meetings can be described as an interesting one, following warnings that the worst is yet to come in terms of tough economic challenges for the global economy ahead, especially in 2023.
George Affe with that update from Washington, D.C. Many Ghanaians believe that the country needs to mobilize more revenue to take care of some critical infrastructure as the economy faces challenges. According to a citizens report by Send Ghana, majority of citizens engaged during the survey want the government to bring back the road tolls, looking at the current state of our roads. Deputy Country Director for Send Ghana, Dr. Emmanuel Ayifa, has been explaining to Joy Business.
One key issue that came up is the need for the country to generate a needed revenue. All of us know that our tax to GDP ratio is quite low, and citizens know about the current challenges of mobilizing revenue. One major suggestion that came from citizens is about time government reintroduce the road tolls that were abolished. Fact is that no matter what, it roped in some amount of revenue. And here the Deputy Minister spoke about the fact that the country is challenged with revenue, and so citizens are calling for bringing back the road tolls. But considering the fact that the ministry gave certain reasons for actually deciding to abolish it, citizens think that if they need to possibly review it and see how it could be done, maybe graduating it from the motorway, maybe you can charge a different rate, and maybe somewhere that is not, you don't have heavy traffic, you can also charge a different rate.
And that was Dr. Emmanuel Ayifa, who is Deputy Country Director at Send Ghana. Now, banks in the country have cited reputation as key to their commitment to sustainable banking practices. They also identified environmental, social, and governance as governance issues as major growth pole for their operations going forward. These were captured in the 2022 annual banking survey report released by accounting and audit firm PricewaterhouseCoopers. The survey looked at why banks in Ghana can no longer ignore environmental, social, and governance issues and the impact on their business. The survey also showed that more credit and lending decisions will be impacted by green and environmental issues going forward. And as we wrap up this morning, let's check the currency market for you. The cedi now selling at 12 cedis 40 pesos to the dollar. The pound going for 13 cedis 10 pesos. And the euro going for 11 cedis 40 pesos. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Acquah. Thanks for listening. The Super Morning Show continues with Winston.
Thank you very much, Daryl, for joining us. So the dollar is now at what? 12 cedis 40 pesos.
This is really a free fall.